Hey everyone, before we start the video, I wanted to give a short intro to who I am, what I do, and why I created an iceberg for the Maya. And there's timestamps in the video if you want to skip. So, I'm currently a 4th year undergrad in college, and one of my majors is anthropology with a minor in archaeology. I specialize in Mesoamerican and Andean cultures. Obviously, this video is inspired by the likes of Tuv and Wendigoon, as I love their iceberg videos. And I thought it would be neat to find an iceberg for the Maya on Reddit, but I couldn't find one, so I thought, why not try my hand at making one? When I did, I thought, why not go all the way and just make a video? But anyways, enough about me, let's dive into part 1 of the video. The Maya civilization was a society of great minds that left behind monuments and mysteries that continue to baffle us. Their pyramids align with the stars, their sacrifices seem to defy reason, and their calendar tracks time in ways we still struggle to fully understand. Today we'll explore the surface levels of the iceberg and dive into the Maya's most famous, yet mysterious legacies. Level 1. The obvious. Chichen Itza is one of the most iconic Mayan cities, and its centerpiece, El Castillo, or the Temple of Kukulkan, is a marvel of ancient engineering. This step pyramid isn't just a monument, it's a calendar. Its 4 sides have 91 steps each, and when you add the top platform, you get 365, the exact number of days in the solar year. But what truly stands out is what happens during the equinoxes. As the sun sets, shadows create the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid, symbolizing a connection between the heavens and the underworld. What's even more fascinating is what lies below. Archaeologists discovered a cenote, or a sinkhole, beneath the pyramid. Cenotes were considered sacred by the Maya, believed to be portals to the underworld. In the nearby sacred cenote, offerings like jade, gold, and even human remains have been found. Was the cenote beneath El Castillo part of similar rituals, or does it hold an even deeper spiritual mystery yet to be uncovered? The Maya calendar system is one of their most famous legacies, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. You've probably heard about the 2012 Doomsday Prophecy, but did you know the Maya didn't predict the end of the world at all? What they marked was the end of the Baktun, a massive 144,000-day cycle, and the start of a new one, symbolizing renewal, not destruction. So where did the end of the world idea come from? Researchers suggest it might have been a misinterpretation of Maya inscriptions by modern Western thinkers eager for apocalyptic theories. The Maya themselves would likely have celebrated this transition rather than feared it. But what makes their calendar truly mysterious is its precision. The Maya didn't just slap together random numbers. Their system is based on interlocking cycles. The Solkin, a 260-day ritual calendar, and the Hab, a 365-day solar calendar. These two combined created something called the calendar round, a 52-year cycle. Why these specific numbers? Well, the Solkin might connect to the human gestation period, or the growing season. The Hab, it aligns perfectly with the solar year. But here's where it gets weird. The calendar round wasn't the end of the line for Maya timekeeping. They had something called the long count, which tracks time in cycles lasting thousands of years, longer than most civilizations even existed. Think about it. Why would they need a calendar that massive? What were they planning for? Some think it reflects their view of time as cyclical, like a cosmic reset button. But here's the kicker. They didn't just mark the years, they tracked entire eras. Whole worlds rising and falling in these cosmic cycles. What did they know that we don't? And how did they make it so accurate? And then there's the deeper mystery. Their calendar isn't just about time, it's about meaning. The way the cycles interlock feels symbolic, like they believed time wasn't just a straight line. It was alive, something sacred. Maybe they saw themselves as a part of this grand cosmic story. It's not just about tracking days, it's about connecting human life to the stars. But the questions don't stop there. Why did a civilization so advanced in timekeeping just vanish? Did their belief in cycles give them hope for renewal, or did it make them fatalistic when things got bad? Was their downfall tied to their connection to these cosmic patterns? We may never fully know. The Maya didn't leave us with answers, but they left us with clues, enough to keep us wondering if there's still something hidden in their calendars waiting to be discovered. The Maya writing system is one of the most complex in the ancient world, combining phonetic symbols and logograms. But there's a catch. we've only deciphered part of it. Many glyphs still remain untranslated, leaving large parts of their history shrouded in mystery. Most of what we know comes from carved monuments in the 4 surviving codices. The rest were destroyed by Spanish priests like Diego de Landa, who viewed them as heretical. Imagine the knowledge lost in those flames. Histories, scientific discoveries, perhaps even explanations for their rituals and myths. But that's for part 2. Level 2. Less common knowledge. The Maya ball game. I made a short on this topic, so I'm sorry if this is some info you're already familiar with, but poke top poke, or the Maya ball game, was a sport that was a ritual and deeply tied to their beliefs about life and death. Played with a rubber ball weighing up to 9 pounds, the game involved hitting that ball with your hips only. The goal was to pass it through a stone hoop, which I can only imagine the bruises after one of those games. But here's where things get a little murky. There's evidence that losing, or more likely winning, could lead to sacrifice. But why? Some archaeologists believe the game symbolized the struggle between life and death, echoing the story of the hero twins in the Popol Vuh. These mythological brothers played a similar game in the underworld, defeating the Lords of Death. So was the poke top poke just a ritual, or did it serve as a way to reenact mythological battles? And if it was meant to connect the players to the gods, what did sacrifice achieve? Was it a way to ensure victory in the spiritual realm? Maze in Maya mythology. I'll keep this one brief as well, since I made a previous video about it. So, in Maya mythology, maize was the foundation of their identity. Their creation myth says humanity was formed out of maize dough, and the god of maize symbolized fertility, abundance, and the cycles of life. So, to the Maya, maize was more than food. It symbolized a spiritual link between humans and the gods. Rituals involving maize were common, and its importance can be seen in many cases in their art and architecture. The Red Queen of Palenque. Deep within the ruins of Palenque, archaeologists uncovered a tomb that defied their expectations. Inside was the remains of a woman coated in bright red cinnabar, a mercury-based pigment, earning her the name the Red Queen. What shocked researchers wasn't just the lavishness of the burial, but that it belonged to a woman. At the time of its discovery, high-ranking women in Maya society were not widely understood, and the grandeur of her tomb challenged long-held assumptions about power and gender roles in the Maya world. The cinnabar coating her remains is equally mysterious. It's toxic yet durable, and it may have symbolized blood or a connection to the gods, preserving her body in vibrant red for eternity. Jade artifacts found in her tomb suggest she held immense reverence, yet her burial chamber was unmarked, unlike the nearby tomb of Pakal the Great. So, was she a queen ruling in her own right? A priestess wielding spiritual power? Or someone whose influence reshaped the society around her? The discovery of the Red Queen's tomb opened a new chapter in our understanding of the Maya society. It challenges the idea that power and prestige were reserved only for men, raising the question, how many other influential women have been overlooked in the shadows of history, waiting to be discovered? Level 3. The Lesser Known. The mystery of the crystal skulls. Crystal skulls are one of the most intriguing archaeological mysteries tied to Mesoamerica. Often linked to the Maya, these skulls, made of clear quartz, are carved and polished to a near-perfect shine. Legends claim they hold mystical power, serve as ancient tools of wisdom, or were even gifts from aliens. Some stories suggest the Maya used them in rituals to communicate with spirits or unlock cosmic secrets. What's puzzling is that not a single crystal skull has been uncovered at a verified Maya site. Instead, most appeared in private collections during the late 1800s and early 1900s. Modern testing has revealed tool marks consistent with rotary tools, technology the Maya just simply didn't have, strongly suggesting the skulls were made much later. But why are they so often linked to Maya culture? Some believe their mysterious aura tapped into the Western fascination with lost civilizations. Others think they're products of colonial myths, blending real elements of Maya culture with fabricated artifacts to craft an exciting story. In all likelihood, the crystal skulls are fakes, created during the 19th century craze for all things mystical. Still, their lasting appeal shows just how much we're drawn to the idea of ancient secrets waiting to be uncovered, even when the evidence points in another direction. City-states. The Maya weren't ruled by a single emperor like the Aztecs or the Romans were. Instead, their world was made up of independent city-states, each with its own king and its own ambitions. Cities like Tikal, Copan, or Palenque were allies and enemies, connected by trade, war, and diplomacy. This setup created a constantly shifting political landscape. One year, two cities might be trading partners, and the next, they could be bitter rivals on the battlefield. Take Tikal and Kalak Mul's rivalry. It spanned centuries, involving not just war, but a web of alliances and betrayals. What's really interesting is how these city-states managed to thrive without a centralized government. They shared the same language, the same calendar, and many of the same gods. Yet, each city had its own identity. Some were ruled by warrior kings who led armies into battle, while others rose to power through trade or religious influence. But this independence also makes you wonder, was it their greatest strength, or their ultimate weakness? When cities started to collapse, there was no emperor to unite them or offer stability. Did their fragmentation leave them vulnerable to the environmental challenges and internal conflicts that came later? And speaking of rivals, there's one city-state that took things to a whole new level. The Snake Kingdom, a political powerhouse shrouded in mystery, and it played a role in shaping Maya history, but that's a story for part 2. The Collapse. The collapse of the classic Maya is one of archaeology's greatest unsolved mysteries. Around the 9th century, their once thriving cities in the southern lowlands were abandoned. Their populations dwindled and the power center shifted to northern Yucatan. Entire cities fell silent, leaving behind their towering temples as eerie reminders of a lost world. So what happened? Theories range from prolonged droughts to resource depletion and internal warfare, but none fully explain the scale of the collapse. Some researchers believe environmental disasters pushed the Maya to the brink, while others point to overpopulation and the strain it placed on their resources. But could there be another reason? What if disease swept through their cities, decimating populations and weakening their political systems? Or maybe trade routes, the lifeblood of their economy, maybe they were disrupted, cutting off essential goods like obsidian and cacao. Their own art and hieroglyphs might hold some clues. Some depict apocalyptic imagery, cities engulfed in chaos, angry gods demanding retribution, and rulers performing desperate rituals, like the prophetic warnings seen in Norse mythology's Ragnarok or the Book of Revelation's visions of the end times. Were these carvings meant to signal doom, or were they reflections of events already happening around them? The classic Maya didn't vanish overnight, and they didn't disappear entirely. Their descendants live on today, keeping parts of their culture alive. But their sudden collapse raises questions we're still trying to answer. Was it one catastrophe, or a perfect storm of disasters? And how much more could we uncover in the ruins, inscriptions, and buried cities still hidden beneath the jungle? And that's it for part 1 of the iceberg. The Maya achieved incredible things, but their legacy is as mysterious as it is fascinating. Their culture leaves us with more questions than answers. In part 2, we'll explore the shadows beneath this iceberg, the rituals, myths, and secrets that remain hidden. I hope to hear some suggestions or criticism in the comments since I'm still trying to find my voice on YouTube. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope to see you in part 2. Bye.